Coming up, Hagia Sophia, Constantinople's crowning glory. Namaste friends. My name is Shri Subramanian Payamal and you are listening to the Histology podcast. The huge church of Hagia Sophia was packed, but above the solemn chanting of the service came the boom of cannon. It was the night of 28th May 1453 and the people were praying for the deliverance of the Christian city of Constantinople from the besieging Islamic Ottoman Turks. The prayers were in vain. With the dawn came the news that the Turks had reached the city walls. Advancing through the narrow streets, they smashed their way into the church, killing many of those inside. Later that day, the Turkish Sultan Mehmed II entered the city in triumph. He looked with awe at the great church and, to symbolize his victory over this capital of Christendom, ordered that it be turned into a mosque. After 900 years, the ancient church was to begin a new life dedicated to a new god, the Byzantine masterpiece. The church had been built in the 6th century AD by the Byzantine Emperor Justinian. The Byzantine Empire, founded in AD 330, was the first great flowering of Christian civilization after the fall of the Roman Empire. Its capital city of Constantinople, today's Istanbul, on the site of the ancient Greek city of Byzantium, commanded the Bosporus, the narrow strait linking the Black Sea with the Dardanelles and the Mediterranean. The city was the geographical and cultural bridge between Europe, the Middle East and Asia. Its crowning glory was to be the Hagia Sophia, that is, holy wisdom. Justinian appointed as architects Asthemius of Tralles and Isidorus of Miletus. Their design was a masterpiece of Byzantine construction. The central dome was more than 100 feet in diameter and at its highest point 184 feet above the ground. With 40 windows around its base, it seemed, in the words of one observer, to be suspended from above rather than supported from below. For the walls and floors, an army of laborers and craftsmen brought marble and granite from quarries as far distant as the Atlantic coast of France. Temples and other places were plundered for features of special interest or beauty. Dazzling and intricate mosaics covered large areas of the walls and ceiling. Gold, silver, precious stones and ivory were lavished on the interior decoration. Some 40,000 pounds of silver was used in the sanctuary behind the altar alone. The work was finished in the short space of 5 years, from AD 532 to 537, at an estimated cost by today's value of more than $180 million. Entering the church for the first time, Justinian cried, "O Solomon, I have surpassed thee, a spectacle of marvelous beauty," agreed the Byzantine historian Procopius. For the scholar Michael of Thessalonica, it was a tent of the heavens. Sunlight flashes with such brilliance that the gold seems to flow from the dome. Then catastrophe struck. Earthquakes shook the city and a part of the dome collapsed. Undaunted, Justinian had it rebuilt. 6 centuries later, 1204 Christian crusaders on their way to the Holy Land to fight the infidel Turks attacked Constantinople and robbed the church of many of its treasures. In 1346, the dome partially collapsed again. By 1453, Hagia Sophia, although restored and still impressive, was a shadow of its former self. The church as mosque. The second age of splendor as a mosque was about to begin. The Sultan Mehmed II repaired and strengthened the building and added a tall minaret from which, according to Islamic custom, the muezzins would call the faithful to prayer. The Sultan's successors added further minarets, furnished the interior with basins of white marble, alabaster urns and a marble throne, and suspended from the dome 6 large green medallions bearing the names of Allah, the Prophet Muhammad and other founders of the faith. For another 5 centuries, the mosque served the faithful of Islam. But in 1935, 12 years after the collapse of the Ottoman Empire and the establishment of a secular Turkish state, the mosque was converted into a museum. In the process, many of the mosaics were restored to their former glory. Today, the edifice of Hagia Sophia, its dome and minarets still tower above the waterfront of Istanbul, a monument to 2 great religions and more than 1400 years of history. Source: Strange Stories, Amazing Facts, Part 2, pages 111 to 113 by Reader's Digest. Will provide the respective buy links to it on Amazon India and Amazon USA. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Histology podcast. Hope you learned something new today. To know more about such interesting tidbits from pages of history, please don't forget to subscribe to the Histology podcast on your favorite podcasting app and check histology.com for previous episodes. Looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great day and take care. Bye.